Hello, everyone. You're watching the Ready to Wrap Up segment of the RO Sports Show. It's brought to you by RO Yellow, the business directory put out by the Richmond Observer. We invite you all to check that out. And we are on site here at Richmond Senior High School with Coach Reggie Miller. He, at least during the fall, he's the coach of the cross-country team. We're going to talk to him a little bit today about that. So thank you for coming on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I want to say I follow you on Twitter. I love all the inspirational stuff and the motivational stuff. I love that you can kind of tie that together, and I'm sure you do that with your athletes as well.
Yes, sir.
I can see how you'd be a very motivational person out there. And I was telling you before we started filming that I'm a little more familiar with track. So I want to kind of first ask you, as a coach, what are the differences in the way you approach maybe coaching track as the way you approach coaching cross country?
Yeah, it can be a little different with cross country. Everybody run one race. With track, you got at least 16 to 17 different events.
Yeah.
So with cross country, what I'm saying is you that one single event. So you got all these kids. You like with us, we start our workouts in the summertime, around June the 17th, right after the dead period. We'll make sure we don't go into that dead period running, because you can't. It's a violation and you will get fined. But we come out, get the kids, talk to them. We go over our workout plan. Let them know what's expected. We'll come in with a lot of distance running, a lot of short runs, because you got to mix in your short runs, which to me is your sprints, versus your distance, because anybody can run distance, but cross country is more of a sprint race. So you got to mix in your sprints in, more like your fartlek runs, more like your threshold runs. And I have a workout what I call the 20-minute fartlek, which is a 4-4, 3-3, 2-2, 1-1. I explain it to you. You break that down as you got 4 fast, 4 slow, 3 fast, 3 slow, 2 fast, 2 slow, 1 fast, 1 slow, and it's all on the whistle. So at the end of that 4 minutes, when you're doing that 4 minutes, you hit the whistle, and then they move to that next pace. Track can be a little different. You was asking me about the difference. So this is like a workout for track right here. So you break off your sprinters, your distance runners, your middle distance runners, your hurlers, and your jumpers, and I break out all the this is my indoor workout. Indoor starts tomorrow, so we got workouts.
Wow.
Going straight into cross country season as of tomorrow. So I got everything broke down. Where you got the sprints, you got the distance, you got the middle distance, you got the hurdles, you got the jumpers, and Monday would be like endurance day. So we got our endurance workout. Then we break off like Tuesday, and we go into the regular workouts. Then we mix in a little bit of core workouts with mobility and dynamic stretches.
Now, have y'all been doing indoor track very long? Because I remember it a long time ago, and then it kind of seemed like it went away. So
well, the first year that I got hired as head coach, I mentioned it to our AD at the time, and he told me he would get back with me on it. Then he ended up leaving. He's a principal now. When Coach Young came, I brought it to his attention, the means for having indoor track, because with indoor track, it helps you far as outdoor, because indoor is your basic training to outdoor. So you starting early in the season, and so when the season comes for outdoor, the kids are already well motivated and prepared to go into your outdoor season. So we had it. This will be the 4th year right here.
Now, I'll say I got to spend a little time watching your cross-country team last year. I've only seen them a little bit this year, but one thing I'll notice that's a huge difference is with track, 100 meters on a track is 100 meters on a track. It's the same, but with cross-country, the terrain is different everywhere you go. I mean, it's just completely different terrains. I mean, how do you kind of prepare them for that? I mean, because you don't really have any kind of standard practice course for something like that.
Well, cross-country is the terminology for it. It's an open course. Open mean open to bad weather, open to running on gravel, running on the cement pavement, running in the grass, and running in trails. So I like doing a mixture because different courses is totally different. Like, say, for instance, Hope County course, you go run more on cement than anything. A little bit around the tennis courts, but most cement. Henson Lake is straight trail. Jack Britt is both, a mixture of both. Like yesterday, went to Jack Britt, mixture of both. So it's all according to just one day you need to learn to work on gravel. Then you need to learn to work in trails. You need to learn to work in a mixture of all of it, because you never know what course you might go to. Say for instance, you run an invitational, you might run 80% on gravel, and if you had never ran gravel, it can be tough. Say for instance, just the same as hills. I like to use that about the 100 meters. I like doing 400 meter reps on hills. 100 meters on hill, for the simple fact, some courses have a lot of hills. So if you don't know how to run it, and my coach, when I ran, he taught us hill work. I mean, we ran more hills for endurance and strength, and it helps build you.
Yeah, you mentioned Jack Britt. I don't know if it was like this yesterday because I wasn't able to make it, but last year I went to y'all's meet at Jack Britt, and I remember, and Russell like this, he's behind the camera, but he's a big NASCAR guy, but y'all almost had like a pace car. Like y'all were in an open field, and the car just kind of guided you around an open field to pull did they do that again? So yeah, that was kind of an interesting, and I'd never seen anything like that, so that was kind of an interesting way to do it.
And so, like, we went to the Carolina Horse Track on Saturday. That's Pinecrest course. They actually got 2 courses this year. So then we got to run at the Elk Lodge for a regular season meet, but the horse park, that's where the conference championship will be. But the Elk Lodge is totally different. I'm saying totally different. Might be one of the worst course we ever ran on, for the simple fact that it's a golf course, and it got what they call 2 suicide hills. And yes, and if I'm mistaken, he wanted to hold the conference championship there. They told him that he had to change his course up if he wanted to hold it there. So that's why we're going to the horse track. But when you run at the Elk Lodge, nobody get good times. No teams have any good times because of the golf course, and the grass it won't be cut. It's just, and then you got a lot of fire ants out there, so it's tough, very tough.
And golf courses are purposely hilly. I mean, I've been on some of those cart paths that almost feel like you're on a roller coaster. So tell us a little bit about your runners this year. Do you have any like stars this year that are?
For the boys, we got Carson Jordan. I would say Carson Jordan kind of coming to his own. He's a 3-year runner. Good thing about Carson, he works hard. I told him at the start of the season that our first meet was in Lumberton, and our second meet was in Lumberton. And I told him, I said, your peak should be the very first meet. I said, Carson, the very first meet you run in, I said, your time should be what you actually ran at the very last meet in cross country, for the simple fact it's hot. And if I know that your time is where it was at the regional, that means by the end of the season, you're going to knock your time all the way down. Carson actually at the first meet knocked his time down 45 seconds down past the time that he ran last year. Yesterday, he peaked again because he was running, now he's down to 18:57. But I told him, I said, by the end of the season, he should hit around the 17 mark. Aria Brown is another one. Aria Brown this is her 4th year. Aria Brown is a 4-year all-conference girl for cross country. Her time last year, I think, at the start of the race was 23 at Lumberton. She got down to 22:40 at the Lumberton meet this year. So she really went peak this year. The first race. She didn't run yesterday because she had a stomach virus, but she's got down to 21, and extremely great runner.
I remember watching her last year. Yeah.
We also have Malin. Like I said, Ariel was sick yesterday. We have Malin Wallace. Malin finished second in the race yesterday. This is her first year running, and she did an extremely great job. All the girls did pretty good yesterday. All of them kind of reaching their peak. The good thing with the boys too, Will Thompson, Josh Wallace, Ethan McDonough. We didn't have Joey because of soccer. Cody Simmons and Devin Tillman, but all of these guys are reaching their peak. The good thing about this team than last year's team, this team right here, they like best friends. They do everything together. I wanted to break off the workouts this year, but I decided to keep them. We decided to keep them together. And the good thing about this year is Coach Covington, she came along, and she has helped out tremendously well. Two heads are always better than one.
Yeah.
Having her, because she's a good influence with both boys and girls.
Well, I mean, I've heard several coaches say camaraderie can be one of the most important things on a team. Is if they can get along, they almost always do better. Who do you have that are likely to make regionals? I mean, do you have any?
Actually, our whole team with cross country and track is totally different.
Okay.
Cross country, your team will go to regions, but they just have to finish in the top 5. Our region, you get the top 5 because we got 23 teams in our region. So other regions got 17, so they as top 4. But if you got to be one of the top 5 teams to make it out the region. And the good thing about the region this year, we got a chance Saturday to see what the talent looked like, and it's tough because now we went from the Midwest to the East. So basically, we got all the Raleigh schools, and 5 of the top Raleigh schools were there at the Carolina Horse Track on Saturday, and they are pretty good.
Now, do you have any guys that are strictly, for the boys team, do you have any guys that are strictly runners? Because I know during the fall it's got to be kind of hard to get cross-country because you got football play going on, you got soccer going on. And so do you have any guys that run all year that'll be on?
Carson Jordan runs, he runs track, cross-country, and he wrestle. Devin Tillman, the same, Joey Nicholson, Devin Tillman, Will, he's cross country and wrestling. Hopefully, Ethan will come to track this year, because the good thing about what people don't understand about track, if you run cross country, you need to run track, because if you want to get better, track gives you all that track is fast paced, so you get that speed work in. So when it's time to go back in the fall for cross country, you're already in shape, and you already got that speed ready to come in cross country, getting that distance part. Then you working, mixing in that speed for cross country workouts.
Now you said something, and I was actually going to ask you something along these lines, and you may have already answered it, but you said in practice you do a lot of the 4 fast, 4 slow, 3 fast, 3 slow, that kind of thing. Is that kind of how you want them to operate during a race as well, or do you want them to kind of maintain a consistent speed? And
kind of both, because that what I call the fartlek 20, that 4-4-3-3-2-2-1-1, that's actually how you run in a race. A 5K race is a fast pace. So with the way my coach had us do, he wanted you to get a good start, mellow out by that mile and a half. You at a relaxed pace, but then when you get close to that 2 mile, you got to pick it up. So that's kind of the fartlek run. You quick start, mellow out. Then you got to come. You're a quick finish, because that's where a lot of the workouts I do, as far as speed, is like the repeats. I think most of them don't like repeat day. Repeat day can be tough because I'm only giving you 3 to 4 minute recovery time, like especially like an 800 repeat, to come back and do another one. And I know you're not gonna get it at that same tempo, so I like more like the 100%. 90%, 80%, 70%. So I try to give it to them like that, because I know if that first one we're gonna get a good time out of them. But when you're coming back off like that, like 3 minute recovery, it's tough.
Okay, and y'all have one more regular season conference.
Actually, we got 2 more.
Two more.
We go back to Fayetteville next week. 71st hosted yesterday on Jack Brick course. because they don't have a cross country course.
Okay.
So Jack Brick will be hosting this week. This
The
coming
same
week.
course?
Yeah, the same
Okay.
same course, same exact course, and then we move to the Elk Lodge, and then after the Elk Lodge, at Pinecrest, we go to the Carolina Horse Track for the conference championship. And then the following week, we'll be back at the Carolina Horse Track for regional. But it's the funniest thing about cross country this year. Our first meet was in Lumberton. Our second meet was in Lumberton. Then we was at home. Then this past week was in Fayetteville. Next week we'll be back in Fayetteville. then we go 2 weeks back to back at Pinecrest, but at different courses.
Repeat court. Well, it's funny you say that because the first week I think Purnell Sweat was hosting, but it was in Lumberton.
It was in Lumberton,
and we
yeah.
were looking everywhere for it. We were driving around Purnell Sweat and driving around Pembroke. And we couldn't find it, but yeah, it was in Lumberton. Well, anyway, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you giving us some information, and we'll try to get you back on during an indoor track and let you update us on what's going on with that
I
as well.
appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That'll do it for the RO Sports Show. Listen to us for each week. We'll be having some coverage out of the football game this Friday night versus Pinecrest. Head out and support the Raiders this Friday. Thank you for watching.